Hello, y'all. Have you ever had problems falling asleep? Well, today that's probably one of the biggest things which I work with people. It used to be stress issues, then hormone issues, but today sleep is a huge issue, and it's several components of sleep that's the problem. It could be the problem of falling asleep, or the problem of staying asleep in the night or first thing. So today, let's take a look at some of the issues with sleep um, and try to figure out what can we do to fix this problem. The first item is problems falling asleep. One of the big issues today that we see is eating a large supper. Grew up on the farm, you ate breakfast, and then dinner, and breakfast and dinner were huge, and then supper was just a small little meal. But as people move from the farms and they move to the factories and to the offices, they ate less for the noon meal and ate more in the evening. And so they moved that name dinner from the noon to the evening meal and what we used to call supper. That large now dinner is causing problems because what happens is as our brains convert tryptophan from the serotonin, or I'm sorry, they convert the serotonin into melatonin. You convert the tryptophan to serotonin, then the serotonin to melatonin. If you eat a large supper, that doesn't happen well. And so a light supper works a whole lot better in developing more melatonin. The next problem is people eat late. Instead of eating at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, folks are eating now today at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And what that's doing is that food has a propensity to ferment and putrefy. You need at least 2 hours, I'm sorry, 3 hours before going to sleep that there's nothing in the stomach, or that food has that propensity to putrefy and ferment. And that can cause problems in that sleep, especially later on in the evening. A hot room. If the room is too hot, folks don't fall asleep well. It could be a messy room. A clean room is a whole lot better than a messy room and help in the issue of falling asleep. There can be noise. It can be sirens. It can be people in the other room. It can be the television, the radio, whatever it may be. But you need a quiet room when falling asleep. Another problem in falling asleep is light. It can be light from the clock, from the bathroom, from the nightlight, or it could be the TV still on. You want a room that what we call is plumb dark, totally dark. And our bodies do much better when we are trying to fall asleep in a dark room. I remember when I was in college, moved into the fire hall. I moved into a room that had no windows. Well, I had no problems falling asleep if I went to sleep early. Or the problem was I didn't have the sun to wake me up in the morning because I had no windows in that room in the fire hall. Another problem that people have in falling asleep is stress. Stress is huge. The body's just not able to calm down. The brain's not able to quit thinking. Stress is a huge issue out there for falling asleep. Unable to relax, anxiety, depression. A lot of folks have anxiety. As we're looking today here in America, we're seeing more and more anxiety than what we used to have seen. Depression, according to the WHO, depression will be the number one diagnosis in America very soon. Correct. Currently, stress is the number one diagnosis in America, but depression soon will overcome stress. A problem that Harvard University is finding with coronavirus is that the bedroom is being used as the dining room, the entertainment room, the office, and the bedroom. And what's happening is people are not associating the bedroom as a room to sleep. You know, they eat in there, they watch television in there, they do the office for work in there. And there's that correlation between when you walk into that room, like if you walk into the kitchen, into the dining room, well, that means you're supposed to eat. Well, when you walk into the bedroom, that means you need to be going to bed. Another problem that people have in falling asleep or causes is caffeine or alcohol before bedtime. Caffeine, whether it's their Coca-Cola, their Mountain Dew, their Sprite, well, Sprite may not have it, but Dr. Pepper, whatever that soft drink is, or that coffee or that tea, which has caffeine in it, it can affect a person's ability to fall asleep. Alcohol, that definitely. And it's best just not even use caffeine or alcohol anytime, but especially before trying to go to bed. Going to bed too early can cause a problem. Now, when should we go to bed? The best time for the human to go to bed, according to Harvard University, is around 9 o'clock at night. But let's say you've got to catch a plane like this coming tomorrow night. I'll be going to bed early because Friday morning I've got to catch a early flight out of Knoxville. I'm heading up to Minnesota, and so I've got to leave. I got to get up in the morning at like 2 o'clock in the morning, so I can get up, get ready, drive to the airport to catch that early morning flight. Well, so the problem is if I go to bed too early, then my body's not going used to going to bed that early. I may have a problem falling asleep. Another problem is lack of sleep schedule, both when that person's going to bed or going to sleep, or when they're waking up. It's just all over the place. They might go to sleep tonight at 9 o'clock, tomorrow night at 3 in the morning, the next night at 11 o'clock, the next night at 1 o'clock in the morning, the next night at 8 o'clock. The body needs a set time, just like children. If you have children, they work best if you let them go to sleep at a certain time every night. The other problem is they may get up at 5 o'clock this morning, 9 o'clock tomorrow, 8 o'clock the next day. You need a set time of when to go to sleep, when to get up. That significantly helps in the sleep process. Another problem people have is, especially those that are retired as they get older, they may take a long nap in the afternoon. Now, power naps are good, maybe 15, 30 minutes at the most. But if you're having longer naps, then a person may have a problem falling asleep in the evening because they had too much sleep in the afternoon. The other problem we look at is waking up in the night. And we see that a lot of whether it's the room is too hot or too cold. It may be a painful sleeping position. It could be inadequate bedding. The pillow's not very comfortable, or the covers are too heavy. So you want to have that comfortable sleep environment. The other is needing to wake up to go to the bathroom. It could be because of alcohol, caffeine, diuretics that need to get up and go to the bathroom. It could be free flow where that person just drank too much water in the evening. And so what happens is they're having to urinate in the evening more, or just drinking too late in general. Another one that we see a lot is prostate problems with the men. And they may be getting up 5 or 6 times at night, and so we've got to address that prostate issue, whether we're looking at Podiarco or black seed oil, or saying don't drink after 5 o'clock in the evening very much because you're going to have problems with getting up to go urinate. Another one is can't fall back to sleep in the night or in the morning, whether it's in the you wake up in the middle of the night, you can't fall back to sleep, or you wake up a little bit before let's say you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you want to sleep till 6:30 or 7. What's some of the problems? It could be stress for work, or family issues, or finances, or projects. Ladies have a lot of problem with this. They wake up in the night, go to the bathroom, and then what happens is they're thinking about the children. They're thinking about issues going on that might be a problem, or fellas might be thinking on work projects or finances. Morning disturbances, it could be a car door, your neighbor slamming their car door. It could be birds outside singing, like where I live up in the mountains. It could be light from the sun has come up, and that's giving some challenges of waking you up. And the other is, and when you sleep in the morning, we start having a reduction in melatonin. And as our body stops producing melatonin, we can then start waking up. Another one that we see a lot is depression. That person wakes up, they can't fall back to sleep because there's issues of depression going on there. Natural remedies, what can we do? We've identified some of the causes. Well, what can we do to address the issue? First, to no to a light supper. So either no supper or have a light supper. The next one, have a dark room. Have a quiet room. You need a neat room, a room that is cool, and a bedroom for sleep and relations. When a person enters that bedroom, it needs to tell the brain, this room is for sleeping. This bedroom is for having relations with the spouse, not a room where you can have as a entertainment room to watch the movies. on the bed, or a room that's the dining room where you eat your food, or the office, or the reading room. It needs to be a room to sleep and a room for relations with the spouse. Magnesium. Magnesium is a great tool that I use a lot. PO, whether it's by mouth, where a person may be taking, say, 800 to 1,000 milligrams in the evening to bowel tolerance, or it might be transdermal. I take and get a magnesium oil and I rub it on the bottom of my feet. I fall asleep when I do that. L-theanine, it's amino acid that's good to help calm the body. 5-HTP, which is like tryptophan, a hormone. Melatonin. Some people take melatonin. Be cautious with melatonin. It may work for a lot of people, but there's a lot of, or for some people, but a lot of people, melatonin doesn't work a lot. It can make them more prone to have more dreams, more active dreams, or even nightmares. But melatonin is good in later on to help that person stay asleep. So I like a product, Mary Lou uses it a lot. It's called Tranquil Sleep. Tranquil Sleep, that has both the L-theanine, the 5-HTP, and the melatonin, which works synergistically. Cherry juice, just drinking cherry juice can be very beneficial in helping a person fall asleep. Herbs, we've used herbs for years, for thousands of years, for the issue of sleep and other health problems. Valerian, skullcap, hops, chamomile, passion flower, wild lettuce, catnip. Valerian is one that it may take up to 30 days, according to research, for it to really work. But I like using them together, like valerian, skullcap, hops together, or valerian, skullcap, passion flower together. They work very well synergistically to help that person fall asleep. You can use, even if you have a person that's really having a hard time falling asleep. We used this right after 9/11 at the clinic, and we had our patients out in New York City and Washington, D.C. We would do 2 tablespoons of valerian powder, 2 tablespoons of skullcap powder, and 2 tablespoons of hops powder. And we would put it into 2 cups of water and make a tea and have them drink it about an hour before bedtime. If that didn't work, we'd do it the full dose at 6 o'clock. Do it again at 8. If that didn't work, 4. For those people at 9/11, we had to give that full dose to them at 2 o'clock, again at 4 o'clock, again at 6 o'clock, and then again at 8 o'clock at night to finally get that person to fall asleep. So there's some tools that you can use that work very well. Catnip is another one that we use it for colic, for croup, but it's also good to help fall asleep. Another one is CBD oil. CBD oil that may not be legal in some of the countries that we're talking to right now. In America, we just got that approval in some of our states back a year or two ago. But CBD oil, and it doesn't need to have THC in it, just plain old, and it doesn't have to come from hemp. Sometimes Mary Lou will give me a CBD capsule that helps with sleep, and it's from corn. It's just the CBD oil from corn. It has no THC in it at all. The last item, the most important item, and that is prayer. God is there to help us out. And are we embracing God's help and asking Him to help us to calm down, to fall asleep? That's what's so significantly important for us to do, is to tap into that resource that we have and ask God to help us fall asleep. Well, y'all have a great day, and we'll see you next time.